Hi and welcome to the DE Physical Education Flipped Learning videos. The functions of the cardiovascular system in the physical education. This will involve the heart, the route blood takes, blood vessels and their roles, and blood and its role in physical activity. Cardiovascular system. The cardiovascular system is made up of the heart, three types of blood, the blood itself, and the functions of the cardiovascular system are transporting, clotting, and temperature regulation. This picture here shows the heart and the network of blood vessels that make up the CV system. Within the three areas, the transportation is where blood is carried with oxygen and nutrients to the working muscles. It carries away waste products such as carbon dioxide and lactic acid. Temperature regulation, this is done through the lumen of the blood vessels, which we'll learn about in a second. When the body is too hot, vasodilation, increasing blood flow to the skin surface, takes place. Additionally, clotting is also part of the CV system. So platelets in the blood form clots which seal open wounds. This protects the body against infection. The heart pumps blood to two destinations simultaneously. To the lungs, where it becomes oxygenated before returning to the heart, and to the rest of the body, where it becomes deoxygenated as it delivers the oxygen it carries to the working muscles. The heart is made up of four chambers. The top two are the atria, and the bottom two are the ventricles. The left side of the heart deals with oxygenated blood, and the right side of the heart deals with deoxygenated blood. These are the key areas of the heart you must know for your exam: the aorta, the pulmonary artery, the pulmonary veins, the left atrium, the semilunar valve, the bicuspid valve, the left ventricle, the septum, the superior vena cava, the right atrium, the tricuspid valve, the right ventricle, and the inferior vena cava. One thing to remember when you're looking at a picture of the heart is that it's flipped. So as we're looking at it right now, this is the right hand side. However, on the diagrams, these are the left hand side. You need to think about it as if you were looking down at your own heart. Heart key terms. Atria. This is the plural of atrium, and there are two atria in the heart. These are the upper chambers of the heart where the blood enters. Ventricles. These are two ventricles in the heart. These are the lower chambers in the heart where blood exits. Oxygenated blood, blood containing a high concentration of oxygen, and deoxygenated blood, which is blood that contains a low concentration of oxygen. The route the blood takes through the heart. Pause this video now and see if you can fill in the gaps. Now you've had a go, have a look at the answers. So deoxygenated blood arrives at the right hand side of the heart. It enters through the vena cava. Blood flows through the right atrium. Blood is then pumped through the right ventricle through the tricuspid valve. Blood is pumped out of the heart through the semilunar valve along the pulmonary artery to the lungs. Oxygenated blood arrives at the left hand side of the heart. It enters the heart through the pulmonary vein. The blood flows into the left atrium, and the blood is pumped through the left ventricle through the bicuspid valve. Blood is then pumped out of the heart through the semilunar valve along the aorta to the rest of the body. Again, to challenge yourself, go back to this slide, pause it, and try and fill in the gaps. Key terms you must know. Heart rate. Number of times the heart beats per minute. A normal resting heart rate ranges from 60 to 100 beats per minute. Stroke volume. The volume of blood pumped out of the heart in a single contraction. It can be readily calculated by subtracting the end systolic volume from the end dystolic volume, and we'll go into this in our next section. Cardiac output. Volume of blood pumped out of the heart per minute. Cardiac output in humans is generally 5 to 6 litres a minute at rest, and more than 35 litres per minute in an elite athlete during exercise. Blood vessels and their roles in physical activity. These are the three main ones you need to know: arteries, capillaries, and veins. Arteries carry blood away from the heart. Arteries carry oxygenated blood. Arteries' blood pressure is high. The arteries have thick muscular walls, and during exercise the arteries restrict the area that is not being used, e.g. the digestive system. This is something called vascular shunting, and again we'll look at this in our next section. Capillaries. Capillaries look at a mesh wrapped around muscle and organs. Capillaries are very thin, they are one cell thick, and gas can diffuse through the walls of the capillaries. Blood becomes deoxygenated at the capillaries, and capillaries are essential during physical activity because they allow oxygen to enter the muscles through diffusion. Veins carry blood back to the heart, and veins carry deoxygenated blood. Blood pressure is very low to prevent blood flowing the wrong way. Veins may also have one-way pocket valves. Veins have thinner walls than arteries. Blood and its role in physical activity. Red blood cells contain hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is a substance that allows oxygen to be bound and carried. Red blood is critical to all sports and physical activity. It ensures muscles have the oxygen to perform efficiently. Activities that are impacted the most by the work of red blood cells are endurance events, or anything that works aerobically. White blood cells. White blood cells are part of the immune system. They travel in the blood to fight diseases and infection. They are responsible for keeping athletes healthy, ensuring sportsmen can train and compete. Platelets. Platelets clot blood and scab around the site of an injury to seal wounds. This is crucial to stop excess bleeding and to heal the body quickly to prevent infection. This is important for sports performers as it will stop the injuries becoming life-threatening, ensuring the sportsman can train and compete. Key terms you must know. Hemoglobin, the part of the red blood cell that carries oxygen. Oxyhemoglobin, the name given to hemoglobin when it is carrying oxygen. White blood cells, cells responsible for protecting you from infection and disease. Platelets, cells that cause clotting and stop bleeding. And plasma, the fluid that enables all of the cells in the blood to move around the body. Practice questions. Complete the table below to show the functions of various structures of the heart. Take your time and try and add in the structures of the heart and then the function that links to it. Pause the video now until you've finished the question. Here's the mark scheme for this question. So if we look at the right atrium, its function is deoxygenated blood enters here from the vena cava. The tricuspid valve prevents blood from being pumped back into the right atrium. The left ventricle pumps blood to the muscles, tissues, rest of the body, or pumps blood out of the aorta. And the pulmonary artery, blood vessel that carries deoxygenated blood towards the lungs. And finally, the aortic valve. This valve prevents blood flowing back to the left ventricle.